You're listening to For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation.
Hello there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Maul Shadow Lord recaps here on For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation. Andrew and Conor are back here to talk about chapters 7 and 8 of Maul Shadow Lord, chapter 7, Call to Oblivion, and chapter 8, The Creeping Fear. Oh my goodness, this 8th episode was crazy.
Now I think about it,
crazy.
It just occurred to me, for whatever reason, The Creeping Fear sounds like a 1980s like Star Wars EU book title.
So let's I don't know if you know that, you might not know this then. So April 1st, 2004, StarWars.com, I think it was StarWars.com, maybe it might have been like the old fan club that was a thing back in the day, put out an article saying Episode 3's official title revealed, The Creeping Fear.
That's
and
incredible.
that was an April Fool's Day joke that year. And then it was revealed as Revenge of the Sith later that year. So they've been sitting on this title for at least 20 years. So it finally makes its way into proper Star Wars right here. But the theme that I've been saying the last couple episodes was every time I think this show can't top itself, it does. Like I was like the stuff with Marrok last week, how crazy it felt, how it felt like a slasher movie. And then this week completely just goes deep into Maul's motivations and his character. And we actually got to see like him being taken in by Sidious, and we get to see flashbacks to stuff at different perspectives. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is maybe the definitive Maul story is this 8th chapter, because even though he's not like the main focus of these episodes, the stuff we get is just powerful stuff. And it harkens back to a lot of other stuff we've seen in Star Wars before. And it's a lot of stuff that we've known, or at least known of, but to finally see it and see Maul in such a vulnerable position was crazy to see, and to really peel back the curtain of who Maul is as a character.
Yeah, the vision, the flashback vision sequence in the 8th episode is like definitively my favorite scene from the show so far, at least. But just I live for that shit. I eat that stuff up so much, dude. So,
like every time we get like a Force vision or a Force flashback, I'm like, all right, here we go. We know we're gonna get some good stuff here, and this did not disappoint. I also just loved how cool it was that it wasn't like he wasn't in like a different realm or like an otherworldly kind of thing. Like it wasn't like a world between worlds kind of thing. It was just him, just in his hatred, trying to escape, trying to get back to his hideout. Like he sees these visions, and we really see how focused and laser focused he is on wanting to get revenge on Sidious, so no one goes through what he went through ever again. Which is like, yes, he's still the villain of the story, but they gave him more layers and not necessarily more sympathetic or tried to make him like a good guy, but like you definitely see why he's doing what he's doing and why he is so gung-ho on we need Devin. We can't leave without having Devin, because in his mind, he needs her for his plans and for his vision of how to fight the Empire is through her. As he said in, I believe it was the 3rd episode to recast, he sees her as like a weapon to destroy all of his enemies, and that's what he wants to mold her into. And this whole storyline throughout the season has been great, in my opinion. We at the beginning of the episode, there's still we start right back where we were at the end of episode 6. So Devin cut away the train, so they've escaped Marrok for now, but Riley and Devin are stuck with Maul, and obviously Devin's telling Riley to not trust anything he says because Master Daki is so gung ho on he's not our ally. He's never going to be our ally here. We just have a common enemy. And they bring him back to the hideout, and it's still Maul like putting on the facade, or but like it was what he's been saying the whole time, like, you're not a prisoner, you can leave whenever you want. But then we cut and we see him like losing it to Rook Cass, like, no, she needs to come with us right now. When Devin obviously wants to wait for Lawson and Master Daki to come back, and we really see him start to lose his patience. And just see that maybe he's not fit for this whole getting an apprentice thing, because you got Sheevy Boy was patient with getting Anakin to the dark side. Maul, after like one day with Devin, is like, dude, fuck this. I can't with this. You're coming with me right now. I can't deal with this anymore. No, like again, like the early portion of this episode was kind of set up for our like escape. And what we would have in episode 8, where we're trying to get like the prison breakout, and then leading into the stuff with Maul at the end of this episode. But it's still a lot of cool stuff. And Devin, at one point, they make their way to Maul's hideout, and they're trying to escape on Maul's ship, but they are met with the Inquisitors, and they're met with stormtroopers. And right at the beginning of this episode, we are reintroduced to the 11th brother from Tales of the Jedi, and who he showed up in a couple other of the Tales shorts as well.
Okay, good. I couldn't remember who he was. At first, I was like, why the hell does this guy seem so familiar? And then I remembered. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's the guy who got absolutely pieced up by Ahsoka.
He got pieced up by Ahsoka in that one Tales of the Jedi episode. Now
I still need to finish that book.
I've read part of it. I have not read the whole thing, but I remember
I'm like halfway through it. I just want to see how the purification of the crystal is done. Described.
I'm shocked we haven't seen I'm shocked that wasn't one of her shorts in Tales of the Jedi.
I'm not
the purification.
I'm not shocked either, because I'm really not shocked, because I feel like that probably would just been kind of hard to pull off in it. Well, maybe not, but like, I just feel like theoretically it probably would have been hard to pull off in animation.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
They're really good at doing the weird and wonderful stuff with the Force in animation, so they could have made it work. Yeah. I mean, the only time we've seen a crystal bled in the Acolyte, but we've never seen
that was wild. That's wild purified. Still.
Remember when people were tried acting like that wasn't cool?
Yeah,
that was. I hate the internet sometimes, but people were not the happiest when those Tales episodes came out, because it was kind of retconning that Ahsoka book. But now we do get to see that Inquisitor come back. Now we know him as Crow. That's what they're calling him in the marketing. I don't think they call him that in these episodes. He doesn't actually talk in any of these episodes. He's just kind of silent, intimidating figure. Marrok is the mouthpiece now, which is kind of crazy to think about, because before this show, he had never uttered a single thing beforehand. But they catch up to Maul. They surprise him at his hideout, and we get to see another big fight, and it leads to Devin having to make a decision between staying with Riley, protecting him, or fighting off the Inquisitors. Because before this, Maul and Devin kind of start fighting briefly again. The Empire shows up, and Maul decided, well, no, see you later. I gotta take these guys out. And Devin eventually makes the choice to join him. And during that moment, that momentary moment of weakness, Riley gets kidnapped by the Empire. And that leads to Devin's arc in this episode, where she is like, do I continue to fight with Maul? But she does end up escaping, finds Master Dagi, reunites with him and Lawson, and then they have to go on this mission to find and save Riley. And at this point, Sewell, Lawson's contact from last episode, has gotten a ride off the planet for them. So it's kind of a race against the clock. Like, you have 2-3 hours, whatever it was, to get to the ship. But they're not going to leave without Riley. Obviously, Lawson makes that very, very clear. And again, I just really, I don't know about you, I really like these characters. Like,
their dynamic is so fun.
That was centered so much on Maul as the main draw. Like, I have really, really gotten to enjoy our two Jedi and Lawson and how they've been working together these last couple episodes.
Dude, Lawson's probably like my favorite character from this show.
He's great, man. He is so good. I love how different he is from every other like authority figure or guy in this role that we've seen in Star Wars before, where he's dropping everything to protect these Jedi and to go against the Empire and really he's becoming an enemy of the state because he knows it's the right thing to do. And I just love that about him, and I loved getting more of that.
Kind of like Andor.
Yeah. Again, the show is sharing a lot of themes with Andor throughout its run.
Just like an Andor.
Yeah, it's actually reminding me of that show Andor. That the politics. It reminds me of the Gorman massacre over on Andor. But again, it's just like it's refreshing to see a character in this time frame specifically where the Jedi are like completely name in the mud. And I think Lawson even has a point or a line in this episode to Master Daki, like, oh, like, just so you know, when they said the Jedi were traitors, I could never believe them because I met one Jedi before, and I could never think that they would betray the Republic. I just like how he's fighting for the right thing, and he's not just immediately selling them out because my family or my job, my role as a police captain, and it's at this point led to him being an enemy of the Empire, to not having his partner there anymore because his partner snitched to the Empire and brought them in this mess. But I love Tubu's arc in these episodes too, because I went from like, dude, I can't with you. Like, what are we doing here? I'm losing my patience too. Okay, he finally gets it. And it was like a great moment of once he starts to get the comlink message from Lawson. And he hides it, but he eventually starts looking more at it further and further once he starts to realize this lieutenant is kind of full of shit. And, for all about protocol that, the Empire said they were, he's making up his own rules and doing his own thing to bring these fugitives in. It's like, I'm about those rules. So this is pissing me off. And to completely jump forward into next episode real quick, when he runs into one of the other cops who I swear I thought died at the end of episode 4. Like, when they were all carried out, I thought that man was dead. Maybe he was just hurt. But he was like, oh, I'm going to go talk to Chief Kleiss about this. And it's like, hey, you haven't figured out yet? Like, she's dead, bro. Like, they killed her. And he just has that moment of like, And then he sees Lieutenant Blake again. And he's like, I don't like this guy. First he makes me take my boots off, then he kills my chief, and now he wants me to potentially kill this kid that I've known my whole life and has kind of like been like a nephew to me. Like, no, I'm gonna help out my friend. I'm gonna do the right thing. I talked last week when you weren't here about the back and forth between morality and programming with Two Boots. And I like that came full circle in this episode, and I'm glad that it didn't take up the entire season. Like, I'm glad we still have. Well, really, we had 3 episodes of him being back on the good side, back with Lawson, and we'll have him for the rest of the season. And it wasn't like a season-long thing of in the finale he'd finally see the light and come back and realize that the Empire is, not the good guys here.
I also just really, because I haven't really mentioned it before, I just really like there's a really strong father-son family dynamic.
Yes.
In a Star Wars show, in terms of like one of the main characters, because we always see it like in like side characters and whatnot here and there in Star Wars, but like for it to be kind of pretty featureable, pretty featured in a Star Wars story is pretty cool. I also was shocked going back to those last couple episodes when Lawson said, I forget in which episode. Actually, I wrote it down. In episode 5, not episode 5. In episode 3, when Lawson said that his ex-wife works for the Empire, I was like, oh, okay, that's just a throwaway line. We're actually like not going to see her. So
and then we see her.
Yeah, and then when like the little comlink started going off in episode 5 with Riley, and he turned it on. At first, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be like some random person or Lawson or whatever. And then he's just like, Mom? And I'm like, Mom? I was like shocked. I was like, oh shit, we actually see her.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit, she actually drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, no, it's all the Empire's got to be there for a reason. Just stay out of trouble. I will admit, I was a little upset that your Governor Price theory was not correct. That
was my governor. Oh, that her. Yeah, that her wife. That his ex-wife was Governor Price. Dude, that makes sense. But like, honestly, I honestly was just like, dude, this would be the funniest bit ever. Like, what if they just pulled that? Like, oh yeah, Lawson's ex-wife is Governor Price.
Governor Price.
Be the funniest shit ever, dude. I honestly forgot I said that. I'm not gonna lie.
Did it. I know, because she showed up and I was like, it's really cool that we're already seeing her, but it's also like, oh man, but that would have been so funny. That would have been like the perfect little tie-in of, oh, that's who she did in fact drink the Kool-Aid.
Honestly, if I ever get a chance to ask any of the creatives, I might ask them, be like, hey, Lawson's ex, was Governor Price ever considered to be his ex?
They're like, no, but write that down. Someone write that down. That's a good idea.
God, I forgot about that. Honestly, I forgot that was a theory. My God, it's so stupid, but it's like it's just so funny because of how dumb it is.
Another thing I talked about last week was there were a couple lines of dialogue between Maul's group that made me start to be like, oh, there's some cracks showing. Are we going to see one of them turn on the other? Because Rook Cast has a moment with Maul where she's like, oh, I've been with you with everything, but like, are we really, so gung-ho on this specific thing? And the two Mandalorian mercenaries were like, oh, when are we going to get paid? Like, I didn't sign up for this Empire stuff. So those Mandalorians start, going off again in this episode. And because they have a moment where they're trying to escape, and the one Mando has like a huge like crate of like credits. It's like, oh, leave those credits behind. It's like, I'll do with what my share with what I want to. And it's like, leave them. And he just drops them. And he takes his helmet off. And I really thought this was Gar Saxon at first. Because I was like, oh, well, we know he's with that group in Clone Wars, but he's not here. And I just assumed that they wouldn't touch the character because Ray Stevenson sadly passed away and they didn't want to recast him. Which I said it would have actually been really cool if Rory McCann would take over that role too, like he's taking over for Balin. But I was like, oh, is that him? And then he immediately gets in the Mando Starfighter and gets blown up. And I'm like, okay, so it wasn't him. But I just found that it was like both like cathartic and also really funny that they abandoned the Shadow Collective. And they're like, no, we are more focused on greed and power than even these guys. We're going to leave them behind because we don't want to deal with this Empire stuff. Immediately get hit by missiles from the Imperial gunships, and then they just are out of there. So, Kebris, we hardly knew you, but you are bye-bye. But shall we talk about this ending fight with Maul? Because that was not only a great setup for what we got in the 8th episode, but like I loved the way this was shot. Not only just like the animation, but the colors, them going into like this waterfall area, which like I didn't even think was in Janix's like biosphere. Like I didn't think this kind of environment existed in this planet, but it led to a lot of great shots, a lot of great animation moments. They keep Maul's leg that he gets that got injured a couple episodes ago comes back to bite him. They start focusing on that. They injure it even more. They cut off a part of it. So he's hobbling around. He's cornered by Marrok and Crow. And we really get a sacrifice from one of the Night Brothers. And it was Alex from Star Wars Explained. I was listening to his recap of these episodes, and he pointed out how some of the few times we see Maul show genuine emotion and sadness is when we see a Night Brother die. Because it happened here. It happened with Savage in Clone Wars Season 5, which we get to see again in his vision next episode. But I believe it's Scorn that shows up, and he gets impaled by one of the Inquisitors. And we just get to see this look on Maul's face of just like despair and sadness and grief. And, you know, we've barely seen these characters interact, but obviously Maul still has a spot for Dathomir and for his family. In episode 8, he took my brother, he took my family, he took everything from me. Scorn, I mean, we don't know if there's definitive familial relationships there, but there's definitely some connection there that Maul has with Zabrux on Dathomir. And
I want to go back to that fight, because if there's one thing that I've just, again, God, there's like a couple, again, Star Wars shows revealing things I never would have thought of. Fucking Obi-Wan not knowing Anakin was alive for 10 years. Yeah. Again, blew my mind.
That's just something I just always assumed he would have known. Yeah. Because he would have heard the word Vader.
Yeah. Just again, that twist doing that. I know there were a couple other shows that did some really interesting stuff of like, oh wow, that's such a new angle. The one thing that this show did that, again, I just never thought about was like, oh yeah, why wouldn't they go for the legs?
Yeah.
Like, of course. Like
that's like cybernetic. Like you'd think like you'd go straight for that.
Like, I hate to say it, dude's honestly disabled. Like,
yeah. I mean, Luke goes for Vader's hands in Jedi. So
yeah, like you just go for it, and then like, oh yeah, oh no, it's not flesh, but it's like, oh yeah, it's electrical parts and everything. You're kind of screwed, buddy. Like, oh yeah, why didn't Obi-Wan just go for the legs? Actually,
the season 4, like, oh, I should have gone for your head while I had the chance. I should have cut off your head instead, whatever the line was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I really liked it. It reminded me a lot of going back to Kenobi when in that final fight he uses the hilt of his saber to take out Vader's little box thing.
Yep.
Like that's something that I've just never assumed. Yeah, you can just go right for that. Like it's like, oh, now we're fighting completely different. But like I like how they focused on, I think it was Daki that hurt Maul's leg, and they've lingered on
that's
these
right
last few episodes, and they go back to that, and they have the Inquisitor take out the leg even further. It reminds me a lot of what they did with Crosshair in the Bad Batch season 3 when they keep lingering on the tremor, and it leads into the finale. Have you finished season 3 of the Bad Batch yet?
No.
Okay. Ignore what I just said.
I don't remember. Dude, honestly, I was looking at my phone. I just heard something about a tremor, and that was it.
Yeah, no. It's actually, according to the internet, 2 years since the Bad Batch finale. It was either yesterday or today at the time of recording, which makes me very sad that it's been that long.
Finished it.
Okay. Well, ignore what I said. I didn't say anything.
Honestly, dude, like I just said,
yeah.
I just heard something about a tremor, and that was it. Like everything else was kind of just.
All right. So, but like we see that moment of sadness from Maul. We also see it from the other Night Brother Icarus, where he sees his brother falling. Brother, I'm like, damn it! These characters have said 2 lines, but I'm feeling something right here, man. It's like I'm not supposed to. These aren't supposed to be characters I root for, but also it's like they're undeniably cool. They have cool designs. They're cool characters. They get in cool fight scenes. The fight scenes are so well done in this show. Obviously, fuck the Empire, fuck these Inquisitors. And the ending where Maul, he puts his hands up to surrender, and it's like, oh, you don't get to surrender. The Emperor wants you dead. And they repeat that line like 3 or 4 times in Maul's head next episode to just show like the hatred he has from Sidious. And then Maul just does a baller move, takes the ceiling down from the cave, throws the rocks down to onto the Inquisitors, and then, as we see at the start of the next episode, when he does that, just does a Palpatine spin.
Yeah. Oh my god! Dude, the Palpatine scream showing back up. I was like, "What the hell?"
Dude,
like
the sound design in this show has been incredible. How there's just been callbacks to so many different things related to Maul and the Sith and these characters. But I think we can focus now on the flashback and the visions Maul has, because oh my god,
dude,
were these sick. Some stuff. First of all, I don't think we'd ever see Darth Maul cry, but here we are.
Dude, the tear that he shed, I was like, what the fuck was that?
It's like we are breaking down barriers here, but we really get like the best depiction of who Maul is as a character, what made him this way, why is he so engulfed in rage and anger, and that's what fuels him. And now we know the anger is directed at Sidious again, and we get to see how Sidious changed and impacted and really took everything from Maul's life. We start off, Maul's walking down this cave, he sees this puddle, and he sees a vision of his younger self in his reflection. And he's like, oh, I hate you. Go, like just screams at his younger self because he knows that's the last time he had.
Past die. Gee, I wonder where that was from.
Where'd that come from? I thought that's what the theme of the film was. That's what internet reviewers told me. They told me that that's what Rian Johnson was trying to say or something, but it wasn't.
I thought that's what the thesis was. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, we've misunderstood The Last Jedi for, 9 years.
It's almost like that was like the motive of the antagonist of the movie, and not what they were trying to say about the galaxy or these characters. Or
it's almost like he had like a messed up viewpoint, and it didn't end up doing him any good.
And I can guarantee you, because I've seen the 9 years of this franchise since that movie, they definitely were not trying to say let the past die for this franchise. Let me tell you that very much from what we've seen after that movie. But no, I audibly gasped when I saw young Maul in the reflection. And speaking of TLJ, my mind immediately went to the Force Cave on Octo with Rey. I was like, oh, hold on a second. Well, what are we getting here? And then we see the vision. We see young Maul, and then Savage shows up. And just the way Sam Witwer voiced Maul and his performance in this scene was spectacular. And then we see Sidious walk into the frame and say, no, go away. Like, just the pain. Because, like, this is the last time he really had any independence. This is the last time he wasn't stuck in this never-ending loop of rage and hatred and everything going back to Sidious there, just looking creepy as humanly possible, taking this literal child to go off and train. The one thing that I was a little upset's the wrong word, but like wished we had was a scene with Mother Talzin. And maybe they adapt the Son of Dathomir stuff to animation officially. We have that line where Maul mentions that his mother was killed. But like to actually have seen that animated, kind of like how they showed the ending of Dark Disciple during the beginning of Ventress's episodes in Tales of the Underworld. I thought that would have been a cool thing. And just to have Talzin have some kind of visual appearance in the show that's so... This episode in particular is so focused on Maul's past and his family, and we get to see Savage, but I would have loved another scene with Talzin maybe before Sidious shows up or with Talzin and Sidious. I liked that we have another scene of Sidious training Maul and him using the Force Lightning on Maul.
That was fucked.
Yeah. And it was Sam Witwer voicing Palpatine again. So it wasn't Ian McDermott this time. It was Witwer as Palpatine again.
I did forget that.
Which I was like, oh man, like, are they gonna have McDermott back for this? And it was because he was him for Bad Batch. So I was like, okay, they're probably gonna have him voice him again, but it was Witwer, and I was like, oh, okay. I do love Witwer's Palpatine voice, though. It's underrated, in my opinion. And then we get to see some familiar scenes. We see Maul Maul's duel with Sidious in Clone Wars. We see Savage's death in this flashback. We also see we get to see Obi-Wan in the Phantom Menace animated. We get to actually hear audio from Ewan McGregor during the scene, and just the way that green lightsaber popped in this animation style. I love the way the lightsabers have been animated in this show. But to get to see a green saber for the first time, I was like, oh, that looks so good. And then we see Maul, Spider Maul, we see Savage die, and it just all lead to him, just everything leading back to Sidious. Everything like, oh, I'm going to make sure this never happens. He can never do this to anyone else, as he's looking at his younger self again, this time with sadness and compassion and shedding those tears. It was crazy. Like, this episode, man, like, what your overall thoughts on this scene, the moments from it, how did it change your perspective of Maul as a character at all? Or like, what did you think watching this?
I mean, like I said before, any type of like vision flashback sequences, I'm an absolute sucker for. So every time we get it in Star Wars, I'm like, fuck yeah. In terms of it changing my perspective of Maul, not really. I mean, I like Maul as a character. He's not one of my favorites, but like, he's cool. Mm-hmm. I like the stuff we've gotten from him. Even though the precedent George set with him coming back to life is a bit strange, and we're not going to get into that. But let's just say the precedent that was set with Maul coming back. Kind of. How do I put it?
Open the floodgates of bringing back a lot of these characters.
To a couple characters not dying.
Somehow returning, you could say.
Yeah. Although I will say with Palpatine returning, that was kind of his whole MO.
Yeah.
So
you're right. They were, even though I don't think it was ever the explicit plan, They definitely were setting it up in other things.
Yeah.
Like to where it would like the contingency plan with Operation Cinder and stuff. There's definitely like this was probably his MO this whole time.
Well, I mean,
and
the contingency.
We saw the same thing in Legends. So,
Cinder Operation Cinder and the contingency was more so if the Empire can't protect me, then screw you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make like the most fanatical of the Empire who survived from this purge, like go out into the unknown regions and create a new order.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, oh yeah, let's forget that and just set up a whole new empire just because. Like, yeah, like the Final Order being its own thing that just gets introduced in episode 9, like just never sits right with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, we have the First Order. Like, on one hand, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Like, but here's all these other Star Destroyers that are all Death Stars. And it's like, it's cool, but it's like, was he just over here doing this on Exegol for 35 freaking years? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's
like who was in the know of it?
Like the way I kind of see it. Yeah, like the way I love how this is now.
This is now like twice in the last 4 episodes where just random Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it's like I guess for me, and I wrote it down somewhere and I can't find it, but I want to say like my theory is that like Palpatine probably saw at some point, or he knew at some point that like, yeah, some of these guys aren't going to work out, so I'm just going to go even more fanatical with it. I can't remember what I put. I'll have to ask.
But I mean, you talked about them going into the unknown regions and forming the First Order, but I was told that they're retconning the sequels and they're not setting them up for anything.
Yeah, like
that's what I was told. But the stuff we're seeing in Mando and stuff and Ahsoka, what is it leading to? I was told that it did. Yeah, if Grogu chooses the saber, it means that the sequel trilogy is retconned. But if he like, do you remember that during Book of Boba Fett when Grogu had to make the choice? Oh my God, you're lucky. It was like because like that episode where Luke makes him choose between like the Mandalorian like chain link armor stuff and Yoda's saber, and there was the batshit theory that this was going to be Favreau and Filoni's way of retconning the sequel trilogy, where if he took the saber, it would mean that the sequels would get retconned. I have no idea, but
weird.
People are weird, Connor. I don't know if you knew that.
I should
but
know.
No, I was told they're getting rid of those movies and they're never going to address them and no one watched them or something. That's what I was told. But anyways, Maul, that's what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like it did set up it opened the gates for that. And then also characters like Ventress coming back and no one has ever really gone ringing very true in Star Wars a lot in terms of character resurrections. But I think they've, with Maul's case, it's one that I will be totally okay with because it completely changed who the character was. It made him from the silent brute muscle of Palpatine in the Phantom Menace that's just the cool dude with the great design and the double-bladed lightsaber that then gets bodied at the end of the movie too. Oh no, he's like a Shakespearean villain here. Like he is like constantly getting in his own way. The stuff with Obi-Wan, it's all great to me. And to get this motivation, which is why I'm like, it's so focused on his hatred for the Emperor at this point in time.
And it just makes so much sense because
it makes so much sense, but then it's like
a lawless episode.
What clicked to where it goes from his last moments not going back to Kenobi, and instead of Sidious, like again, it's like those are the two people that I get it because those are the two people he feels took the most from him. Sidious stripping him of his independence and putting him on this path, and then Kenobi for being the reason why his master abandoned him and led to all of this. So I definitely do get it. But it's like, even in his ending moments, it's like, even when you think you could see the light and get to the right moment of, hey, we can take these people out together, instead it's no, I will, till my last breath, try to kill you because of what you did to me. Again, that's just the beauty of Maul as a character. To go back to the Two Boots stuff with Lawson and Riley, they're able to get him out there. Two Boots negotiates this deal with Lawson to switch him out with Riley. That doesn't end up happening because Two Boots decides to start shooting a bunch of stormtroopers and stunning all of them. They end up escaping out of there. They get back to their ship that's set up with Sewell. In the meantime, though, Devin had a really cool scene where Daki has her go get a ship for them to, or something to escape.
Yeah.
And she goes to like this like garage, and these 2 or 3 giant aliens come out over like, that's my ship. And then next thing we see is them all knocked out, her driving away on them. Like, okay, she had a freaking Fast and Furious moment here, and then she comes back in and just runs over all the stormtroopers. I'm like, this girl's awesome. We have a freaking car chase scene in this episode where they completely take out a couple of those gunships. It was freaking sick. As they're escaping, they rendezvous with Sewell, but Devin and Daki immediately start feeling like something's not right here. Like, we're walking into a trap. Lawson tries to radio her. He can tell that she's been compromised. He's like, oh, we got to turn back. The elevator's stuck.
Oh yeah, no. When she said, something about like, oh, it'll be what a trip to Catalor or whatever it was. I was just like, ugh, fuck.
Oh no, it's like, oh, yep, she's been compromised, and then we just see Lieutenant Blake there with the 2 Inquisitors. But as the elevator gets there, we see that they cut a hole in it, pull the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, and they are able to escape. Sewell is able to fight them off, blows up the ship, able to escape there. At the end of the episode, we see Maul getting back with his group. Like, right when Vario's like, this Maul guy, where the hell is he? You got him all like, man, it's sad. All right, now we got to get back to work. But then Maul just shows up right after that. They go to Demas's office to kind of take refuge there. And Vario gets a call from someone wanting to meet with Maul. From Crimson Dawn, Dryden Voss wants to meet with Maul. Connor, what have we been saying for 6 years?
The character model's finally going to get utilized.
At long last. Imagine if it's not.
Dude, that would be hilarious. What if it's Kira? Actually, no, wait. She's not.
Timeline-wise, it wouldn't work yet. She's like,
no. I was like, wait a minute. No, she's not with Crimson Dawn at this point. But no, that would be fun. Like, that'd be funny as fuck if it's like, oh yeah, Dryden Voss wants to talk to you, and then like next episode, it's just not him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they start.
It's not going to happen, obviously, but it'd be funny as hell.
Next episode, they start off. He's just talking to Rook. Man, there was a great meeting we had with Dryden Voss of Crimson Dawn. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you took this from me. You took everything from me. I don't even know who you are. Like, it was just that moment there. I hope it's Paul Bettany voicing him again, man. Like, I need this character back, like how he was in Solo. I'm very excited that we're finally getting that Crimson Dawn connect, because they've been name dropping it all season. Again, the character model was made for Clone Wars Season 7. I'm like, they obviously aren't just going to have him show up in just that one 30-second scene where he doesn't have any lines. They're obviously going to use him in a future project. At long last, we're finally here. And I was right, because in my Forging the Path episode I did about characters I want to see in the show, I had Dryden at 1, and so far it's the only one to be correct, I hope. If it doesn't, I'm going to be a little upset. But no, we are set up really, really great for these last 2 episodes. I am shocked that we're there already. I don't like this 2 episode a week airing that they've been doing. It has made certain endings of the episodes feel a bit less jarring because of how each episode directly goes into the next one. But like, I don't know, 5 weeks compared to 10 weeks of the show or whatever it would have been had we not. I'm a little upset we're already there, but it's going to be a nice May the 4th treat. You know, we've had something the last several years. It's been Tales the last couple of years, but now we're going to be getting Maul, the finale here. So I am very excited. We are going to be seeing what happens here. Our character is going to get off Janix. What's going to happen with the Lawsons? Is Maul going to take out these Inquisitors? And then,
I mean, he kind of can't.
Well, Crow, I think, is going to be okay. I think Marrok's getting killed because I think.
Oh wait, that's right. That's right. Duh.
Marrok has
shit.
When he dies in Ahsoka, it's like all that Night Sister magic comes out of him. So I think they're going to set that up at the end of the season.
Dude, I forgot about Marrok getting fucking diced up before Ahsoka. I forgot. That's my bad.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
it's okay. He was a nothing character before last week.
Like when literally that duel was happening, I just felt like there was no. I was like, nothing's gonna happen. Like, Maul can't kill either of these guys. They just show up in future media, and then I completely forgot. Yeah, that Marrok gets like killed before.
Yeah, because he doesn't say a thing in Ahsoka, and he gets like diced up, and then green smoke comes out everywhere. So I feel like that was Night Sister magic there. I think they're finally going to confirm it probably this season. But also, you weren't here last week. Who was Marrok talking to at the end of episode 6? Are we going to see Vader in these episodes?
Well,
are we going to have time for it? Like, that's the only thing I can think of is.
For whatever reason, I don't know why. When Marrok said "my lord," I don't know why. I knew this wasn't correct because my brain immediately switched. But I was like, "Why the fuck's he talking to Quizzy?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, he's talking to Vader." So
yeah, probably.
I don't know if we're gonna have time for Vader.
I don't know. Maybe he'll be like.
I don't know if we're gonna have time for Vader. A Star Wars story.
Oh shit! Maybe that'll be like the tease for season 2. Is like the last scene is Vader showing up. All we know is, I mean, these are the only 2 episodes that weren't screened for anyone going into this show. So, but yeah, no. So we are going to be. No one knows what happens here, but we got Chapter 9, Strange Allies, and Chapter 10 finale next week. But at least we know we're getting a second season. I'm very excited. I've loved this show. I think it's been great. I think the new characters have been excellent. Like you said, Lawson is a favorite of mine. And it's also like, again, we talk about not having time for Vader. I'm assuming we're going to get both Daki biting it and Devin's like fate in these next 2 episodes. Because I don't think they're going to stretch that into the second season. I think we're going to have our answer if she turns by the finale.
Yeah.
Also, I'm shocked that this is now 3 episodes in a row where I've said, well, next week's definitely the week that Master Daki dies. And I've been 0 for 3 so far. So maybe my guy makes it out. Maybe he's going to be okay at the end of this. But I don't know, man. I've really liked him as a character, so I don't want to see him go, but I feel like that's what's going to make it hurt even more, is they give us a season of him with Devin, and then boom, he's taken from us. But I just don't kill Lawson. You can kill 2 Boots. Don't kill Lawson. Oh, but he's going to get his boots back, and that's going to be like the big applause moment, is him with the boots. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no, this show's great. I can't wait for next week. It's going to be a really fun time. Any last final thoughts before we wrap things up this week?
I think, well, last thought really is probably just Rena doing what she did to like
that was sick.
salvage everything. That was that was really cool.
That was really cool. I also, because we haven't brought it up yet, she is voiced by Pamela Adlon, who is Gideon Adlon, who voices Devin. That's her mom. So I think that's a really cool like nod there in the voice cast to have her play a character in this. I think, again, everything about how this show has been crafted, I think, has been great so far. And I can't wait for the finale. I can't. And
again, especially like the hand brushed
it's
animation.
So good.
The one time,
and they keep topping it, man. Dude, every single time, I'm like, holy shit.
The one shot that it really like hit me that like, oh shit, yeah, no, they used like paint and shit. Was the little shot where like Maul is just on the ground in the puddle.
Yeah.
Like that specific shot, I was like, I see it.
I'm like, that's it right there. That and seeing like little Maul and Savage like show up in the smoke when we see Maul's vision for the first time. I'm like, this just looks so good. And I'm just, oh man, they've done a great job with this show, because there were some questions like, well, how are you gonna craft this show around a villain and see like toe the line to where you're not making him an all-out protagonist. And I think they've done a really good job at it. And I'm very excited for how things wrap up next week. So I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you guys for joining us for our newest installment of our Maul Shadow Lord recaps. We will be back here next week to talk about the final 2 episodes of season 1. Hopefully Donovan will be back to join us for those. It's been a rough couple weeks for him, so I wish him the best. Hopefully he'll be able to return soon and talk about the show, because I haven't talked about Maul with him yet. So it'll be a very a good conversation there. Maybe we'll do some kind of full episode on the entire season after the season wraps up, just so we can talk about that fully. We'll figure this out. And then also Clone Wars Season 2, we'll be getting back to it soon. We got to talk about the Battle of Geonosis once we are finished with Maul goodness and all that fun stuff. Conor, where can I...
Good thing those Bucks can't aim.
Good thing they can't. Good thing they can't. Oh, man. I can't wait. It's literally like, those episodes are good, but it's just that moment I'm waiting for. I just, beautiful. Anyway, sir, where can everyone find you on the World Wide Web?
Twitter and Blue Sky over at Deppa Banana. Instagram, ConmanJFO. I co-host also over at the Knights of the Nerd Republic, our Star Wars show for Nerd Academy Podcast. Just Google Nerd Academy Podcast and you're going to find all of our sites: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. I also co-host and co-write questions over at the Star Wars in a Galaxy YouTube channel. You can find all of our past, present, and future matches over on the Star Wars in a Galaxy YouTube channel. Star Wars in a Galaxy Epic Confrontations YouTube. Well, Star Wars in a Galaxy YouTube channel, but the show itself is called Star Wars in a Galaxy Epic Confrontations. I don't know how I flubbed that. I write Star Wars stuff. None of it's been published yet. Am I going to have some of it out by May 4th? I don't know.
We'll see.
Andrew. Where?
Okay. As for myself, you can find me Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Starlight Andrew. I might have something out for May the 4th. I might not. We'll see how I feel this weekend and if I can come up with anything. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at For the Repub Pod, on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at For the Republic Pod. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, For the Republic Podcast. Help us out there. Also, you can find us Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. You should be able to find us there on those audio platforms. Give us a like, give us a listen. It all helps out tremendously for our little show that could here. Again, Maul finale next week. We'll be back here to discuss that. Hope you guys have a great May the 4th. Hope you guys have some fun stuff planned. We will be trying to get celebration tickets in the meantime between now and next episode. So hopefully we have an exciting update for you next time there. But until next time, we'll see you guys later. Take care. And may the Force be with you.